Hey, how we doing everyone? It's Chase. So today we will cover Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll mark out fresh levels on the chart. We'll talk about a couple trades that I'm interested in taking. And yeah, let's get into it. As usual, big shout out to Prime XBT for sponsoring these videos. You can see my links at the bottom of the screen here. If you're looking for an exchange that's no KYC, where you can get a nice deposit bonus, use my promo code before you deposit and you'll get a bonus on your funds to trade with. And if you enjoy my content and it's helpful to you, yeah, I would appreciate a sign up or anything you're willing to do if you want to give them a shot. Okay, so let's get into the trading here and the levels. So first thing we want to do is just mark out some major levels, right? Just go straight to the daily. As we can see, you know, we got front ran, right? Before we cleared this full void, sort of deviated above this level here. A bit of a fake out here, honestly. You know, it's unfortunate because if it would have just played a bit cleaner and rejected off of, you know, this area right here, I think a lot of people would probably be in a much better place. I personally, you know, it's not a big deal to me because, as you guys know, you know, we were selling all above 55K in this area here. But yeah, I don't like when this type of stuff happens. It's just a deviation above the resistance level. You trap the buyers in here, and then it's been a downtrend ever since then when we trap these buyers in here. So yeah, I imagined it going to at least 54 or 5 or so, and it never fulfilled it. It dumped through, and in my opinion, this was baiting a bunch of buyers and letting some people distribute in here. And ever since then, we've been on a downtrend. Okay, so for now, we are downtrending until we're not. That's just the simple reality of it. Let me just delete some of these levels. Okay, and we'll go down to a little bit of a lower time frame and see what's been happening here. So we had this big nuke, we rallied, put in a bit of a range. Then we have this level right here, okay? So I'm going to mark out 2 levels just to show you guys a trade possibility that's coming up if we are to move upwards, okay? So we have support here, right? Support here and support here before the breakdown. When we break down, we void right through it. Once again, not respecting the void here, doing a bit of a fake out and then dumping. But if we do clear this level, okay? If we clear this level, if we break into here, let me just go to the lower time frame a little bit here. Just tighten this up a little bit so we can be precise when we're talking about potential trade opportunities. We could see a perfect tap right here, right? Okay, so if we break into this area here, in my opinion, that should be a long opportunity, right? So we push into here, some type of a retest in this area, and boom, it should be a clear long towards 46.7K. All right, now how would I play it? Let's say that price approaches the level. We run the swing real quick, right? So we may run this swing high. We reject. Potentially some consolidation in here. We push higher, okay? Right when it pushes higher. Now you have to sort of make a decision right now. If you were at the computer when it starts to push higher, okay, you could probably jump right in, right? Let's mark this out, different color. Could probably jump right in right away when you see it breach that, you know, the high that ran this high. If it goes above there, it's most likely going higher. You could hop in right away, and you could simply put your stop below this the consolidation area here, right? Because we run this, we bounce down, you have a little consolidation in here. You'll be getting about a 3 risk reward. So that's a good trade, right? We're typically aiming for 2 to 3 risk reward. Otherwise, you know, you can wait for the retest of the level, something like that, and it goes up. In that case, you can get even better risk reward. But the problem is you have to understand that you're risking, you know, the chance that you don't get filled, right? So it's always very two-sided, you know, greed versus patience, wanting to be in the trade versus being okay waiting for the next one. For me, it really depends on the confidence of the setup. I do think that if we were to reclaim this area right here, because we can see rejection here, right? Rejection, deviation, rejection. I think if we reclaim this rejection area right here, that this 44.3K should flip to support and we should go to 46.7. So that'll ultimately be my plan, is to try to watch for some type of move above this high here. And when we get above this, at that point I have to see, okay, is it an immediate swing failure? Okay, does it immediately swipe it and go back down? If it does, then I might be waiting for the consolidation. If it runs the high but doesn't, and let's not call it running the high, if it pierces the high and it consolidates above, I'm most likely going to be looking for long into this level right here. I think that's a clean trade. I don't see why we would re-enter this void area right here. I don't see why we would re-enter this and break into, potentially break this resistance level, like something like that. I don't see why we do that unless we were going to do a clean shot towards 46.7. Okay, give me 1 second here. All right, so that's that trade opportunity right there. That's a short term, potentially, hopefully in a couple days, this could play out if we move upwards. And from here to here, you should be able to get, like I said, anywhere from 2 to 3 risk reward. Those are the type of trades we want. We can see the confluence here, support, 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 breakdown. That's why this is your target. And then we can see this is basically like the previous low of this area right here, right? We can see lows, 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 flip to resistance, deviation, resistance. Break above here, flips to support, go straight to the target, boom. Okay, that's the move for that one. So now, why do we have something like this marked out, right? This high here. What's the point of having this level marked out? Well, let's go down further and let's see what we've been working with. Let's go to, I think looks pretty clean on the 6th. Yeah, the 6th is fine. So we're on the 6 hour here. We're going to mark out this demand level that we've just continued to test and test and test, okay? And remember, guys, that the more times a level is tested, the more likely it is to break, okay? It doesn't get stronger, it's more likely to break. But I will say one thing. This price action here is somewhat reminding me of this price action here, okay? So just to draw a very bland box, but on a smaller scale, this is looking like this to me, okay? Downtrend, downtrend, right? And it sort of looks like it's just going to break down. It's 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 going to break down. Okay, you get it? But it's just not breaking down. So that's why I do think that this trade is a high confidence one, because it's reminding me of this area over here. I don't necessarily know if it means that, all of a sudden we do an all-time high breakout, right? I'm not necessarily saying that, but it looks like the way we're potentially baiting bears, there could be something to that, okay? Now, fractal out the window, whatever you want to say. What happens if this does break down? Well, in my opinion, you have two major areas of liquidity. You have here, and if you're going to go for this one, you might as well go for this one too. So ultimately, I'm looking for some type of a stop run if, okay, so multiple things here, right? If we break down, if this level flips to resistance, this should be a clean short. At least to this low right here, okay? That's the first low I would target. Do keep in mind, do not, if you're gonna short Bitcoin, make sure you play it with some type of a stop loss, risk management, and check all that, right? Because Bitcoin is known to do something like this. Oh, it's super bearish, Oh, it's not so bearish anymore. Okay, Bitcoin is known to do that type of shit. So when you're shorting, you need to be extra careful, in my opinion, with risk management, stop placement, and whatnot. You don't just say, oh, the resistance level broke down, I'm short, no stop, and you'll wake up and it'll be up here. Okay, so but if you have a a plan in place and you can get a nice short off this level, target this low, I think that's a move. Okay, that's another one. As far as this low, if this low gets ran, this is where I'm looking for the major capitulative moment that sends us all the way back towards 55K or so. Okay, that's what I think the market needs. My opinion does not mean shit, but it's just what I personally think it needs, right? So let's pretend we break down. Okay, we break down. We run this low. You get a little fake reaction by the market. It gets trampled on within the next 12 hours or something. We're all the way down here. Big capitulation below this level into like 34K, maybe 35K-ish. Strong bounce. Look for the shift in market structure on the strong bounce, and that's when you're going to know, in my opinion, this level should flip to support here, and we should be on the road for target 1, target 2, target 3, something like that. And obviously like target 4, target 3, target 4. You take profit all the way up, right? But that's sort of what I think needs to happen. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, that's what I sort of think needs to happen. I think it would bring a fresh, it'll push some people out of the market, but it'll let others who have been waiting patiently on the sidelines that have really been looking to buy, it'll let them buy, and that could create a nice, strong, bull trending couple, maybe 2 months or whatever you want to say. Who knows the time frame, but yeah. So there's that, right? So we got this trade in here, potential that move from there to there. You got a potential short op in here to this low. You got capitulation below here. Targeting here, targeting here, targeting here, targeting here, targeting here. Okay, get multiple targets for that one. That's a longer term buy, right? If you buy in here, you're expecting that you're going to see some type of significant bounce. You don't really buy in here to take profit here. I don't really think that makes a ton of sense. If we simply reject off of there and you get stopped out, hey, you get stopped out, right? But if you get some type of major capitulative moment where you get those like, oh shit, like market's dying, like everyone's going crazy, when you get that moment and you get one of those buys, you typically hold that, okay? And that's the plan. Let's see. I have not done analysis as deep for Ethereum. Okay, so we'll just mark out some basic levels. My main focus, I guess we'll just talk about the market for a second. But my main focus recently has been Bitcoin, because I think that and of course, like right in here, like this area here, it's just choppiness, and I haven't been trading much during this area. Sure, there's a lot of scalp stuff you can do in here, but I don't think there's anything that's really worthy of going over in the video for this area. So it's just chop. I'm waiting for some type of move below here, in here, down here, etc. There's a lot of levels to play with. There's a lot of good trades coming up, and I'm just staying patient. And I think it's a good place to stay patient, because I think that I think the market is sort of like leaning on Bitcoin and waiting to see what it's going to do. Not only that, but we're also, leaning on, American stock market, things of that nature. We're looking at like, S&P. Right here we have ES. So is it toppy? Who knows? It seems to never be toppy, so it could just reclaim and keep going. In which case, Bitcoin will probably do this move. And if it happens to break down even more, right? If it happens to just break down and look like it's starting to leg down, then we're probably going to see this area down here. Okay, but in the meantime, just hanging out, choppy area. Don't feel the need to get chopped up, waiting for the next, solid trade, so to say. Okay, so we'll move forward to ETH here. If Bitcoin breaks down to this area down here, there's no way ETH is holding this level, I don't think. It would be interesting. I really don't have a good read on ETH right now. I do think this is a support level, right? Obviously, we can see the level here. We can see the low. If there's some type of scenario where you get a sweep into this demand, I do think this demand is probably a buy. Once again, it really all just depends on Bitcoin. Okay, so if we push into this demand and we reclaim, if you're waiting for some type of quote-unquote confirmation, you could wait for a reclaim of the low, and you could buy that with the stop below there, right? You buy on there, stop below there. That's fine. Targeting, the most recently untested resistances, which would be, you have a level in here that's been tested. This is untested for the most part. Breaks down, so you got target here, you got target here, and you got target here, and you got target here. On the bottom side of it. Okay. That's really mostly it for ETH. Like I said, I don't think it's necessary to have like everything marked out right now for ETH, because I feel like ETH is waiting on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is waiting on, S&P, ES, whatnot, whatever you want to call it, SPY, there's a bunch of different things you could chart for it. But, it's waiting on ETH is waiting on BTC, and BTC is waiting on the stock market. Really that simple. Okay. We will have a chat. Give me 1 second. All right. So today's discussion will be about I guess I'm just going to cover everything, right? We'll talk about the pre-sale stuff, people telling other people not to buy certain coins, who's going to buy this anymore, group stuff, like paid group stuff and whatnot. Okay. Let me run an analogy by you real quick. Kylie Jenner, she'll promote like skinny tea or something, right? But really she doesn't get her body from skinny tea. She gets it from either surgery or exercise or some type of a, high class, steroid performance enhancement, whatever you want to say. She still shills it though. LeBron James, his new commercial is with Pepsi and like Mountain Dew Energy. Do you think LeBron James is in the gym drinking Mountain Dew? I don't think he is. He's getting the best possible whatever from whoever makes it. His performance and his strength and all that stuff has nothing to do with Mountain Dew whatsoever, yet he still shills it. I think there's a lot of good actors in crypto that are trying to clean up the space, but unfortunately I do feel that the efforts will ultimately be futile, because I think that influencers always win out no matter what when a space gets big enough. So it's not to say that they aren't doing good deeds and helping people. They are. If you know me, I've been in a sale or two before. I've always tried to disclose. If the launch is happening, I'll often say, hey, invested in this. Try to, I'll say don't buy the opening pump. You know what I'm saying? You never buy the opening pump. And you usually want to wait for a floor to get in, some type of floor. And then I typically give a target from there in terms of where people can scalp it from. But what I'm trying to get towards is that the buck ends at the consumer and consumer education. Okay? The consumer is always going to lose unless they educate themselves. And this isn't just crypto. This is the entire world. and it will eventually take over crypto completely as the space gets bigger and bigger. And for some people, money is more important than their health. I suppose I guess it depends at what severity you're talking about, but I'll give you a story. When I was younger, I was shilled into, when I was a lot younger, early high school, I was shilled into taking a product by, some bodybuilder guy I looked up to. Of course, he didn't take the product, right? He just took steroids, because there's no way to build those type of physiques without steroids. If like those 270-pound guys who are, also 7%, 6% body fat, you don't build that physique without steroids. So I was shilled into some type of supplement that had some, shitty effects on my cardiovascular system that has affected me for the rest of my life. Nothing major, right? I'm not in any type of, major problem or anything. But the point is that health was taken away from me by someone who shilled something that they didn't use. Okay, so just like, hold on. So just like the crypto people aren't buying or they're shilling these tokens, but unfortunately it's just what the world is, and more people are gonna realize that, and it's up to the consumer to educate themselves. Okay, when I was trying to buy a mattress, the amount of reviews that you read, that all the reviews link to them getting some type of a, them getting a kickback if you buy through their link. Every single one. It took me a year. It took me a year of research to buy the proper mattress. When I was trying to get a stereo system put into my car, the first guys couldn't figure it out. They completely fucked up my brand new car. That was a couple thousand down the drain. Once again, me as the consumer, I needed to educate myself. So I needed to educate myself on the mattress. I needed to educate myself on the car stereo equipment. The sooner you realize that you have to educate yourself about everything, the safer you're going to be. You don't wander into anything into life without educating yourself. And it doesn't matter if it's trading, or if it's crypto, or if you're buying a dog, okay? Whatever you're going to do, you need to educate yourself. And if you don't educate yourself, you're going to get taken advantage of. Like I said, look at any celebrity, look at any influencer. No one's drinking any of this fucking skinny tea. No one's drinking muscle milk. No one's doing any of that bullshit. It's all just shills, and that's what the world is. And if you can't accept that, then you just gotta fucking put your hands over your ears, because that's what the world is. Or instead of putting your hand over your ears, you can educate yourself every single time there's something that is important to you. If it's your money, if it's your health, if it's a major purchase, that you're making a purchase for something in your life. No matter what you're doing, you need to educate yourself in a serious manner before embarking on that journey, so to say. Okay, and that's it, guys. As always, shout out Prime XBT for sponsoring these videos. Check them out, and there you go. There's a shill for you, right? But at least you guys are getting free content, so there's a trade-off there. I try to provide the free content that I typically wouldn't do, and Prime pays for it, and you get some free content. And hey, maybe you want to help me out, maybe you can't, maybe you're already comfortable at a different place on a different exchange, and that's perfectly fine. I'm more than happy for you guys to be here. Anything is helpful. A like, a comment, retweet, feedback, constructive criticism, whatever you want to do. It is all good. Educate yourselves, okay? Chase out. Peace.